What's up, Amazon sellers? Using a credit card can provide an affordable and flexible short-term funding solution for your Amazon business. Aside from this, using a credit card can give you special rewards when making purchases like flights in first class and checking into 5-star hotels. In this video today, I'm going to share with you the things that you should consider if you are wanting to use credit cards for your Amazon business. Stay tuned. If you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson, and I've been selling on Amazon now, doing online arbitrage for the last 5 years. Now in the UK, I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller, check that out. And in the USA, I'm a 6-figure Amazon seller, check that out. Now, hopefully in the near future, we're gonna expand into a new marketplace. And if you're interested in learning what I'm doing, how I'm doing, and what I'm sharing on that journey, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Okay, so first things first, pros and cons of using a credit card in your Amazon business. Now, let's start first of all with the pros. Number one, leverage. Now, having a credit card can give you more funds to buy stock for your Amazon business. With the right credit card management, you can circulate this leverage, this extra cash, to buy more stock and earn bigger profits. Now, in my Amazon business, I always use credit cards to buy more stocks to expand my cash flow in my Amazon store. Now in 2021, I made $2.2 roughly million pounds in sales, and a big part of that purchase, or pretty much all of it, purchases themselves, came from credit cards, which we later paid off using other financing. But quite simply, all those purchases and suppliers were done using credit cards. Now, the second one I'll say for you is called purchase protection. Now, purchase protection is a common benefit of credit cards, and it allows credit card holders to file claims, against fraud or should I say problems with suppliers that they've used to purchase with the credit card company, and the credit card company in turn will reimburse you for those claims, obviously should you raise them and they're accepted. That could be for anything such as fraudulent transactions, damaging stock, etc. You can go back to the credit card company or missing deliveries and they can deal with it. Now back in 2019, I was shocked to see that £3,000 basically appeared on my credit card. I think it was by Amex, which wasn't me. Luckily enough, my credit card provider Amex, they reimbursed me the full amount literally within seconds, and that just allowed me to continue purchasing my business. They gave me a new card and I was happy. I didn't worry because my business is protected and I got my money back straight away. Now, the third top thing for you that I really like about credit cards is cashback. Technically, cashback is earning a proportion of the price you paid for every item back. Now, if you have more than one credit card, you can earn a lot of cash back. For example, with me, I regularly make over £1,000 a month strategically by stacking, should we say, cashback providers, with credit cards, and then on top of that, we get points as well. Now, what I'll do is I'll drop a link up there to what's known as my ultimate cashback guide that will hopefully help you out if you want to know more about how I do it and how you can do it as well. Now, the fourth top thing for credit cards, or pros, should we say, is rewards. Now, when using a credit card for purchasing, you're also earning points. Basically, the more purchases you make using your credit card, the more points you're going to make. Now, these credit card points can be converted into rewards, and in my case, I've just traveled first class from Mexico City back to London and obviously back again. And that's for only £642, which is basically the taxes. That's a £10,000 flight. Now, the sweet part is, for me, I've also managed to check into 5-star hotels using the points, even got upgrades as well. And my credit card purchasing, because of the purchasing large volumes, we've got lots of points. I'm gaining more points, and this means I can have better rewards and obviously have a better life. Now, if you want to know more about how I use credit cards and the points to purchase the first class flight, what I'll do is I'll leave a video up here of my first class flight worth just £642. That's amazing. They are the pros. What about the cons? Now, using credit cards in your Amazon business has one big disadvantage. If you don't effectively manage your credit card, the interest and debt from your credit card can pile up, and one day you're going to wake up with a big bill that needs to be paid, and guess what? You're not going to be able to pay it. And if you don't manage it right, this can lead to losing not only your Amazon business, but your whole business and all the funds that go along with it as well. As a result, you've got nothing left. So what does it mean? Well, managing your credit card is super key to obviously managing your debt. Now, remember, if you do this wrong, you can lose your entire Amazon business and obviously your business as well, and that will affect you. So trust me, that is a really big con, but if you can manage that, there are a lot of pros. Okay, so today I'm talking about the pros and cons of credit cards, and my God, I use them in my business. So before I share with you what credit cards I'm actually using in my business, I want to know which credit cards you're using. Perhaps maybe there's one you're using that I don't know about. Let me know in the comments down below. below. What credit cards are you using? Now, this leads me nicely onto my second chapter, which is about how to use credit cards for your Amazon business. Now, earlier on, I shared that the con of having credit cards in your Amazon business is obviously you can potentially rack up a massive bill and lose your business. So you've got to manage that debt effectively. And how do we do that? And in my Amazon business, I'm going to share that with you now. So basically, we do it through what's known as our cash flow management sheet. Now, to share how I manage my credit cards on the sheet, let me jump on my screen now. Okay, so here we are onto the cash flow management sheet that I use. And trust me, we use this all the time in my Amazon business. Now, quite simply, what do we do with this sheet? Well, it's broken down into 4 sections. Step 1, you take a snapshot of all the money. Step 2, you talk about your future costs. Step 3, we kind of calculate the maximum spend we can have to ensure that we cover those costs from the available money. And then step 4, we finally actually decide we define what we can actually spend and take action to pay off our debts. Now, quite simply, in my business, what we're doing right here in this sheet, and this is something I created and we use every single week in my business without fail. Quite simply, we're using here, it says credit cards. So like, for example, right now, we're just in this version, it's got the Santander 123 cashback credit card, and it says limit 5,000, and we talk about how much debt we currently have on it. So it'll work out the difference and it knows how much I can have available to spend. Also as well, it manages things like credit card or charge cards, should we say. Amex, obviously they don't have a limit, but they do have a charge, so we manage that as well. And this sheet has been like really, really fundamental. Why? Because at a very fundamental level, what does it do? It takes how much money I've got in the bank over here in the bank accounts. It then works out what my debt is and also the available credit there. And it works out how much money I'm getting from Amazon right now in the disbursement and how much I'm likely to get next week as well when I disperse again next week. And it will just help me manage all my income and outgoing and my credit cards and charge cards, making sure that we spend enough money every week that we maximize the spend, but don't spend too much that we can't pay our bills this week and next week. It's been game changing. It's really helped me get to that £2 million. So honestly, check it out. I think you're going to love it. Now, what I will say is this cash flow sheet has really helped me in that, again, 2.2 million sales in 2021. And if you want to download it, and what I will say is there is a small charge to get it. I do charge for it because it's taken a lot of time to develop. I'll drop a link up here where you can see the video and obviously download that as well. There is a small charge for it, so I'll just let you know. But it has been game changing and I think it's really, really worth it. Okay, so this leads me nicely onto my third chapter, which is how to use credit cards for your Amazon business. Okay, so in my Amazon business, and right now I'm talking about my Amazon UK business, there are 3 different credit cards I'm using. So first things first, number 1 is Capital on Tap. Now, for every £1 I spend on Capital on Tap, I get 1 Capital on Tap reward point, and 1 reward point can either be converted into Avios points, 1 point, or cashback at a percentage of basically 1p per point. So it's in effect 1% cashback. Now for me, we pretty much just, should we say, keep converting those into points, but we do rack them up, and obviously that is part of that first class ticket that I had. Now, the one thing which I will say is that the Capital on Tap that I really do like about them is that as we keep spending more money on them, they keep giving us, every 3 months they review the limit and increase. When we first started off, it was like £4,000. Right now it's about £50,000. So very, very big difference. And I'm really grateful for that. Now, the second card we have, well, it used to be the Amex Express Gold charge card, but now we've transferred over to the Amex Express Platinum charge card. Now, I like this because this is a charge card rather than a credit card, and it has no limit. So we have racked up over 100,000 on this in a single month, but you do have to pay it off every month. That's something to be aware of with a charge card. You cannot hold the balance in subsequent months. You've got to get it paid off. Now, for me, the reason why I really like the Amex card is quite simply 2 things. Number 1, no limit, but number 2 is the fact that we get really great rewards. 1 Amex point for £1 spend, and then they pretty much convert into Hilton Honors, Avios, etc., etc. And it's pretty much with those points that I've been able to buy first class tickets, 5-star hotels. I've really enjoyed it, and I really like that as well. And also as well, the reason why we transferred from the gold up to platinum is because with the platinum, you automatically get gold status at like lots of hotels and upgrades and also airport lounges. And if you know me, I like to travel, and that really helps out. Now, the third card that we use in my Amazon business is a Santander business credit card. Now, we use this card is quite simply, it's the first one we actually had. It gives straight 1% cashback, and that gets paid straight back into the bank account itself. Now with this, it's a smaller limit of about 7,700, but it's kind of like the backup card if we can't use the other 2. So it does work, but we just like to have the credit available if we need it. But this is probably the last one we use because there's less flexibility with the points also as well, and the limit is a lot smaller. smaller. 7,000 we can probably spend in a day, where the other ones we can spend in maybe a couple of days, if not a week. So it kind of gives you an idea of the scale that we're operating at. Okay, so this leads me nicely onto my fourth chapter now, some top tips for you. Now look, number one, I'd always say for you, always be careful when purchasing online. Now, given the nature and the volume of online transactions that we are doing right now in our Amazon business, having your credit card information stolen is far, far more likely, than a normal everyday user. Why? You're just using it more online. It's just the nature it's going to happen. So what can you do when you suddenly see unauthorized transactions that you made from your credit card? Well, I had this problem back in 2019 when someone spent 3,000 euros, I think it was actually, on my Amex credit card. Now, I have a VA who does all my purchasing, and he is great and does a fantastic job, and not a single issue, but it is by the very nature of making online payments to a lot of different websites, someone is going to steal or clone your card details. Now, it could be a bad website, it could be a man-in-the-middle attack, it could even be a dodgy Chrome extension stealing your details, or even just a bad employee, but someone sometime will get those card details. And the more you buy, the more likely this is probably going to happen. Now, you can guess how relieved I was when Amex asked me to call them and said, hey, don't worry, you are covered. Even, that was using my Amex Gold business, and I was super happy and thankful for that. Now, there is great protection under UK law, and if you pay for something with a credit card, you are pretty much protected on any transactions with the credit card company if the supplier, if you purchase over £100. Now, I think this is pretty much the same in the US as well, but it goes, if something goes wrong, you can simply call the credit card company and just get that money back in your account. So top tip for you, always be careful when purchasing, try to minimize the chances of this happening, but also use a credit card. In the event it does happen, you can simply get in touch with your credit card company and obviously get those transactions removed, obviously if you don't recognize them. Now, the second top tip I'll share for you is a hack if you have a supplier that doesn't accept credit cards, or perhaps maybe you're doing wholesale, or obviously they don't accept credit cards. Now, if you have this situation and your supplier is not accepting credit cards or the credit card you want, or maybe you're looking to, should we say, have a personal credit card and you want to take the money out and use it as leverage within your business, then what you can do, set up a Stripe account with your business. You can then charge your own business with its credit card, the cash from the credit card. Let's say, for example, you've got like a credit card with a £10,000 limit. You can charge $10,000 to the credit card using Stripe, and then Stripe will cash that money out into your bank account. Now, that is going to obviously charge you a percentage fee, 2-3% from Stripe themselves. But if you've got like a 0% APR card, that might help out, and you're not going to be charging interest on it, but you're able to extract the money and you'll probably get the points as well. Now, this isn't a very this isn't a very efficient way of doing it, but if you can't get the money out of that card and you really want to spend it on a wholesaler, it can really help. So by transferring the funds from the credit card through Skype to your bank account will now give you that capital to leverage in your business. One thing it doesn't do is give you the credit card protection, obviously if you are buying online, so just be mindful of that. Okay, so today I'm talking about credit cards, using credit cards, and obviously top 3 credit cards that we use in our business. Now, the one thing to consider is when you've got credit available, it's fantastic. And the one thing you got to think about is deploying that credit is the important thing. Having it sat on the credit card doing nothing is just a waste of available resources. What you want to be doing is investing it in stock, getting that stock shipped to Amazon, selling it, and obviously making the profit or the ROI on that investment. Now, what does this mean? Well, basically it means you need deals. And if you are looking for deals, maybe struggling for deals, and you want to find some more deals that's going to help your business grow, then look no further than FastTrackFBA Leads. This is a service I created whereby we've got a team of sources sourcing the USA and the UK 7 days a week. What do we do? All of them go onto our online platform. You can come in, you can see all the deals, analyze everything that we find, and when you're happy, you buy tokens, you exchange tokens for the deals, and unlock them to get supplier URL and Amazon ASIN. Now, the difference here is if there's any problems, you can get refunds and we can limit it. And also as well, you get to pick and choose the deals you want. No more being given deals, you get to choose when and which deal you buy is going to help you scale your business. Trust me, I think you're going to love it. Have a look at the link down below. FastTrackFBA Leads, the complete game changer. I think you'll love it. Okay, so this leads me nicely onto my 5th chapter, and that's some personal advice on choosing your own credit cards to use. Now look, I've been selling on Amazon now for 5 years, and I've really done 7 figures in sales, and a big part of this was using credit cards. Now, if you are thinking about getting credit cards for your own Amazon business, here are my thoughts. First things first, you've got to have good personal credit rating. They do look at that. Even if you are buying as a business, personal credit rating, and generally speaking, they want you to be a national of that country. I know a lot of people who are like in Europe, but they're not a national of the UK, and it's a problem. So maintain your personal credit rating. Number 2, obviously you've got to try and be a national of the country that you're doing. That's something to consider. And if you do get rejected for applying for credit cards, do try and find out why. That's going to be really important, and build and maintain that credit history. It's going to be really, really important. Now, the next thing is people talk about debt's bad, it's really bad. And I do understand that. And generally speaking, debt is bad, but there is also bad debt and good debt. Buying a car with credit is just a dangerous game because the car isn't growing in value. And also you're paying interest on the credit as well. That I understand. But buying, should we say, an investment, buying an asset which is going to appreciate, or perhaps maybe you can churn and turn in a business, in a trading business, that can help you out. Now, a big thing you want to be doing is making more money from the profit on the sale of the products you're selling using the credit than the credit is costing you. If you don't do that, you are going to go into debt, and that is a big, big problem. Now, for me, the one thing I always think about is making sure we can always cover the debt on our credit cards, we can always pay them off, and I treat them with respect. They are dangerous things. If you leverage in the right direction, it can really help scale your business. But if you don't leverage in the right direction and do it wrongly, and I mean, maybe you're not making profits, now you're just leveraging a problem and you're leveraging bigger losses. Be very careful. I have seen it time and time again. But if you understand it, make it work, and obviously are profitable in your business, using credit cards to create more leverage, it can be super powerful. Now, the one extra thing I'll say on top of that is recently in my journey, and this year, something that I'm really passionate about right now is trying to live my best life, and that is about traveling. And so really looking at which credit cards can help you earn reward points can be super fascinating and important. If I give you a really good example, if I spend £170,000 on stock, which is a lot of stock, in my Capital on Tap card, that's going to be 1,700 points, 1 point per pound spent. Now, if I cash that out, that's going to be £1,700 worth of cash. But if I convert that into Avios points instead, that's going to be 170,000 Avios points, 1 Capital on Tap point to Avios point, and 170,000 Capital on Tap points or Avios points is pretty much a first-class return ticket, and the value of that is nearly £10,000. So just by utilizing the correct card to earn points and spending them on the rewards that really help you, should we say, scale them, maximize them, can really help you live an amazing life. You know what? Who doesn't like a first-class return ticket in transatlantic? That is something that I really enjoyed, and this year I want to do a lot more of that, and I think you too can do it. You just got to make sure you're using the right credit cards at the right time, and obviously managing your debt carefully. Now, what I will say is credit cards are a big help for our Amazon business, but again, it is important to use them wisely. Now, one way to manage them wisely is through our cash flow sheet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that video around here on how to manage your cash flow using that cash flow sheet. Trust me, it's been game changing. We couldn't run our business without it. Check it out. I think you're going to love it. Now, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give me a big thumbs up. And hey, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. But for myself, Thomas Parkinson, and FastTrackFBA, thank you very much.